Miss Kraft is Daft, Chapter 8, The Great Kraftini. When we got back to class after lunch, Miss Kraft was wearing a top hat and a black cape. That was weird. I looked at the clock. It was 12:30, just a half hour until the big book drop. Did you have a nice lunch, Miss Kraft? Asked Andrea, the big brown-noser. Who's Miss Kraft? Asked Miss Kraft. I'm the Great Kraftini. Watch this. She snapped her fingers. There was a big puff of smoke, and the empty desk in the front of the room disappeared. Cool, we all yelled. How'd you do that? Asked Alexa. Oh, a magician never reveals her secrets, said Miss Kraft. Can you make Andrea disappear? I asked. Oh, snap, said Ryan. That's mean, Arlo, said Andrea. Kids learn fast when you combine teaching with magic, Miss Kraft told us. Here, I'll show you. Grab this rope, AJ, and tie me up. Tie you up? I asked. Are you sure? Sure, I'm sure, said Miss Kraft. Go ahead, make it really tight. I wrapped the thick rope around and around Miss Kraft until she was completely wrapped up from head to toe. Then I tied the ends together tightly. There was no way she could escape. Excuse me, said Andrea. What could we possibly learn from this? A lot, said Miss Kraft. While I try to escape from the ropes, I want you kids to write down the 50 American states in ABC order. If I can't escape in 5, or you don't have the states in order, a 500-pound weight will fall on my head. We all looked up at the ceiling. There was a big weight hanging over Miss Kraft's head. Ask your teacher if you can try this at your school. No, don't really. We all looked up at the ceiling. There was a big weight hanging over Miss Kraft's head. Miss Kraft is daft. That's crazy, yelled Neil the nude kid. Please don't do this, Miss Kraft, begged Emily. It's very dangerous. I must do it, said Miss Kraft. It's the only way you will learn. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Alabama, shouted Ryan. The first state is Alabama. Somebody write it down. Emily grabbed a sheet of paper and a pencil. Everybody started yelling out states. Alaska, yelled Andrea. It's Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. What's next? Wyoming, I yelled. No, dumbhead, said Andrea. Wyoming comes last. I knew that. I lied. California, shouted Michael. The next state is California, and then it comes Colorado and Connecticut. Emily wrote down the states as fast as she could. Miss Kraft struggled to free herself from the ropes, but I had wrapped them pretty tightly. 4 minutes left, shouted Alexa. We racked our brains to put the states in ABC order. Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho. This was hard to do. Hurry, Emily shouted. 3 minutes left. Everybody was freaking out. We got Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Kansas. Miss Kraft couldn't get free from the ropes. She was grunting and sweating. Kentucky, Andrea shouted. And then comes Louisiana. 2 minutes left, shouted Neil. We got all the M states, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana. 1 minute left, Ryan shouted. Hurry, Nebraska, Nevada, shouted Alexa. And then all those new states, shouted Neil. New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York. We were all running out of time, and there were still a lot of states left. In a few seconds, a 500-pound weight was going to drop on Miss Kraft's head. North Carolina, shouted Andrea. North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma. 5 seconds left, shouted Ryan. There's no more time, shouted Andrea. Oh, no! I closed my eyes so I wouldn't have to see the 500-pound weight fall on Miss Kraft's head. And that's when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. You'll never believe who walked into the door at that moment. Nobody. It would hurt if you walked into a door. But you'll never believe who walked into the doorway. It was Mr. Klutz. What's going on in here? He hollered. Why is Miss Kraft tied up with ropes? Who did this? Everybody looked at me. AJ, shouted Mr. Klutz. Why would you tie up your teacher with ropes? Is that any way to show respect to the substitute? What did I tell you about behavior? But, I said. Everybody started giggling because I just said but, which sounds a lot like but, even though it has one less T. I'm keeping an eye on you, young man, said Mr. Klutz. You are this close to being suspended. I wanted to go to Antarctica and live with the penguins.